Hello everyone, welcome to another PathofExile video. As I've said in the last episode of the SSF series, I wanted to make a short video to talk about the Necropolis leak and the quality of live teasers that have been released so far. As of the recording of this video, we have about 7 hours for the reveal stream of the next leak, Settlers of Kalgur. I hope you are all as excited as I am. Just a quick reminder, remember to link your PathofExile account to Twitch if you want to get the back attachment while watching the reveal stream. Now let's talk a bit about the Necropolis. As most of us have expected, the Necropolis won't go core, and they have also removed Perandus Pact from the game. But the rest of the uniques introduced in 3.24 will go core. I will first talk about what I didn't like in the league. The league mechanic was really strong. You could craft items in a deterministic way and could craft crazy items with multiple fractures, even the influenced ones. But the execution of this idea was not good at all. Storing, managing, and juggling all these corpses just for one craft, having to use third-party websites to plan your graveyard layouts, and trading for these corpses individually, what made the league mechanic tedious and too complicated in my opinion. Of course, they modified the trade site quite quickly to ease the trading of these corpses. And just because the league mechanic is really strong, it doesn't mean that it has to be complicated. Affliction was the best example of that. We had so much player power from charms, tinctures, that which was taken jewel, wildwood ascendancies, and yet that was one of the most fun leagues that I've ever played. T17 maps were another part of this league that I didn't like. There's not a single T17 map with open layout. All of them are like labyrinths. The bosses are not really exceptional either, but what's worse, these maps have overtuned modifiers and they weren't even modifiable at the beginning of the league. Fortunately, they changed it later on, but still, these maps need a lot of work to be fun or accessible, because if you're not playing a meta build, then good luck with trying to clear these maps. Especially with a keystone like Back to Basics. I don't know if it will survive in 3.25, but we'll see. I'm not even going to go into a lot of detail about the exploits or unintended interactions that occurred at the first 2 weeks of the league. That was something that will destroy the economy if they didn't react so fast to patch these strategies. But of course, it made a lot of people mad that they couldn't use or abuse these strategies, and they felt left behind. I didn't mind it that much after they fixed it, but I totally understand the FOMO. Not likely going to happen, but I hope GGG does a better job at testing the new league before the release. I know that it's not an easy feat to release a whole new league every 4 months, but one can hope. Now let's get on to the things that I loved in this league. This is the first league that I've experienced changes in this scale to the end game. I've been playing for 4 leagues, by the way. I love the whole Scarab rework and all the little quality of life updates, such as being able to change the Uber Elder fragments at the harvest bench, or the addition of 2 new Atlas trees and the Veiled Orb changes. But I hope they increase the drop rate just a bit. I already like the core gameplay of PathofExile, but these alone made the game much more enjoyable for me. Those are my general thoughts about the Necropolis. Now I want to check some of the teasers for quality of life updates for the 3.25. I've waited for them to release all of these so that I can cover them in a single video. First, we have the permanent auras. Even after dying, if you're playing softcore and die a lot in the game like myself, this will really help, but of course it doesn't mean much if you're a hardcore player. You can now activate harvest plots with one click, As a harvest enjoyer, I feel like this is a change made personally for me. I just love it. I hope we can activate multiple harvest plots at the same time, but I don't think they will do that. I first saw this waypoint change in last epoch. I'm just glad they're adding it to the PathofExile as well. They also made some changes to how the quality works for non-unique armors and weapons. Now you would get 20% more damage at 20 quality for weapons and 20% more local defenses for armors. I believe they are making this change because they will remove the need to use totems for melee builds, and also they will probably nerf Determination and Grace, but I'm expecting a total defense overhaul with this patch. I just love this change as well, because these fights can get quite chaotic. You have to deal with the boss as well as the arena most of the time. So it's not really easy to check the health of the boss, especially when you want to equip Culling Strike on some builds. They have increased the pickup range of the items for keyboard and mouse users. We technically saw with the Necropolis corpses that you can pick items from a lot further away. It may not seem like much, but I believe this will feel really good in the game. And we will have new annoyance with 3.25. This should be interesting. We have a new oil called Prismatic. This will only drop from blighted maps and blight ravaged maps. I think this will add a lot of value to the blight. I might even plan my league starter around it. And they are also adding a 6th map slot. I can't really say much about the design, but this was quite necessary after the Scarp reworks. I'm glad that you can unlock the 6th map slot by doing either 10 Maven invitations or T17 maps. It's always good to have an alternative. They are also reworking the bandits. Now Oak gives plus 40 maximum life, Alira gives 15% to all elemental resists, and Kraken gives 8% movement speed. If you kill all, you will get 1 skill point instead of 2, but don't worry, they changed another side quest to provide another skill point, so in total you should still get 2. I will personally pick 8% movement speed for the campaign, and then switch to 15% elemental resist while I'm in the maps, and in the end game I will just get that skill point. For Simulacrum enjoyers, they removed the first 15 waves and increased the chances of finding unique items from bosses, such as voices. This change is just on point, because you wouldn't get much from the first 15 waves anyway. You can now also see which divination card drops from a map. This just removes the need to use third-party websites to check which cards drop from which map. So a beautiful change in general, especially for new players. They have increased the drop rate of Waldo puzzle boxes, but kept the likelihood of finding a Waldo map with Mageblood or similar tier uniques the same. I'm not a huge fan of Waldo boxes, but it will be fun to open or sell them. And finally, they are bringing back the Wildwood from the Affliction. Now, I don't know if we can encounter this every single map or if it will be random. We will see in the reveal. Unfortunately, they said that the Ascendancies won't come back, but if the Affliction mechanic is coming back, maybe they will include other mechanics into the maps, such as maybe Crucible. By the way, the Wildwood will only be accessible in T16 and T17 maps. Last but not least, we have been seeing death totems in all these teasers. Either these point towards a rework for totems or the reintroduction of the Trial of the Ancestors mechanic back into the game. I just hope both. Most people don't like Tota, but I enjoyed it quite a lot. It just needs a bit of balancing. Alright everyone, that's it from this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next video where I will go over the patch notes. Please enjoy the reveal. I'd appreciate it if you liked the video, comment down below and subscribe to the channel. As always, have a good one.